You got to know that we was gonna be on tonight, baby. Hey, Z, get him on. Tell him we live. Z, get him on. We just dropped that metaphysical featuring Dre. Deaf sound mutant is what he calls himself. Fire, right? Featuring the shout out to Sister Chris, shout out Federo, right? Well, on the mixtape, we closing out the part 2. So we getting ready for part 3. Part 3 is gonna be more, it's gonna be more elusive. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be more, I'm gonna be dancing around on that part 3. We're gonna be going on some Jamaican mix, some pop, reggae type, all kind of stuff. We're gonna mix it up on that joint. But I see Billy Carson's doing the same tape that I was gonna do today. Interesting. So we about to crack heads into his caps. We're get into the creation of the humans. Part 9, ladies and gentlemen, of the Chronicles. Actually, this is gonna turn into a book. We're just putting it together for you. Like I said, we gave you time, gave them yesterday off. We was recording that music for you. So we could get you put in the game. Let's see where we at. Oh yeah, let's get right here. Boom. We're gonna use that one. Or do we want to use that one? Hey, Robot, if you ain't checked out that new music, man, we just put out with Dre. That boy Dre went like into a encyclopedia and stuff, man. And that boy sounded like he did an encyclopedia when he was there joining. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like hey, check this out. Dre recorded that song like, man, it probably could have been. I sent him that song almost maybe a year ago. Maybe. And I said, hey man, because I was gonna put it on Young Guy Flow part 1, right? And I think Dre sent me the verse back the same day that I sent him the beat, right? The same day I sent him the beat. But I don't know, I get it to tunnel vision when I'm researching or doing something, and I get around to it. But man, so I went on, did it today. I actually finished the recording today, and that joint hot, man. I listened to it like 25, 30, maybe even 100 times. That joint is hot, man. All right, so I'm trying to see what thumbnail we're gonna use, man. We about to get this cracking though, because like I said, I see Billy Carson doing the topic right now, the one that I was gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this interesting. When I blow up, we know how we do it, man. Let me get this chat pulled up, bro, and get the thumbnail. Get the let me switch to the laptop. Hold on, just a second. Let me delete that. Boom, boom. Imagine all the places we can go on our way. Getting metaphysical. That shit is hot. It's hot. That's straight fire. And I won't retire. That's fire. That boy Dre, man, I'm telling you, that boy Dre, like he went to Harvard for a year, then wrote the verse afterwards, after he wouldn't study at Harvard for a year, man, in Yale and stuff. That boy talking some real metaphysical on that. Tell him. Hey, Rob Bob, you in the building. We about to crack heads and twist caps. Never have it been made so clear. We got to make it clear for you. Boys trying to keep up. Boys sitting back. They laying in the shade. Ain't nobody tripping because we already made, baby. Let's get them in the game. Let's put them in the game now. Now, we can start right here because
This is all gonna come up. Oh yeah. Let's go back. Now keep in mind, keep in mind, make the track pulled up. Ain't nobody else doing it like we doing it. Telling you. Keep in mind, the Sabines is running the game right now. Never have it been made so clear. The Sabine clan. They say, yeah, man. Ain't nobody doing it like us. Hold on, we're gonna put this in the chat real quick for you. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you don't receive a notification from us every day, my brother, check back with us. We usually got something coming out every day for you. We're keeping you busy. Right? If you want to show us some love, we dropping the Cash App and the link. Don't do the super chat. We're dropping the Cash App and the links, man. We'll be dropping it every certain amount of minutes for people that be asking. But what to get started, man? Because like I said, I heard when I was going on live, I saw Billy Carson's doing a tape on the same tape that I was gonna do. I thought that's interesting. I wondered that he heard that I was gonna do it next. But shout out to brother Billy Carson. Yeah, but we're gonna keep in mind. Now we said the oldest species was the oldest humans or the Sandsman, but the oldest species on the planet is well, you can say the reptilians. We can go back to the reptilians, but I'm talking about like as far as like starting to get to the humanoid part. One of the oldest, the two, like it's 4 species, the original species, but it was one that was here that evoluted out of the water due to several mixes between a gibbous 2 types of monkeys and a little bit of humanoid DNA plus the DNA of these male Decans or these Tridacodites who they ship crashed down in the Bermuda Triangle from one of the 4 winds of Nibiru. So keep in mind they was down here billions of years ago when they crashed down in the Bermuda Triangle, right? Now, I keep on, as I do research, I keep on seeing these scholars or these scientists, they scientists, not ours, they saying, oh, the planet is only 4.5 billion years. Oh, I know right then, they slow because the camels migrated over here from over here 6 million years ago, 6 billion years ago, 6 billion years ago. So, yeah. So you talking about, yeah, so we've been here for a while, man, on the planet, right? But the whole thing is we as Anunnakis, well, it was 7 of us that came first, then our Nana, then a whole bunch of other people said since they went, we're gonna go. And then Anu himself came and said that he gonna come, right? And so to make this thing right, we got to make this right. We got to clear accommodate. You know what I'm saying? This is a family issue. This is a family issue. You know what I'm saying? We here to clear accommodate, and this is a family dispute. And like I say, they say Murdoch was a product of our own doing. Murdoch came about through our product of our own doing. And our own doing became our own undoing. Right? But to get into it though, man, we here to clean this thing up and make it clear. You ain't got to open up when we knock. We just came to clean it up with the mop. You see what I'm saying? Right? All right, so you already know about one of the winds crashed down and knocked out a chunk right here, and they call that the Grand Canyon. We're gonna get straight to it. I'm trying to get to the part. Okay. Now keep in mind there were several different types of Homo erectus here, depending on the different geographical locations over the planet. They was all over the planet. The ape clan. The ape clan is one of the first clans after the reptilians to be like start coming humanoid. So when Rod Hayes talk about the 8 clan and the 8 man and the gorilla clan is one of the first clans here, right? Keep that in your mind. Look at this dude right here. This right here, dude actually live right now. Look at him. These 8 man. So it was different when we got here. There was, like I say, going back billions of years, you had micro life form, right? Single cell amoebas, right? And plant algae and these type of things growing under the water, right? And they began to evolve. There was planted here as a seed by us long times ago, by our ancestors, of our great Annie, Mother Hoover. She the one that started planting the seed. She was the one that was responsible for seeding the planets, seed some of the planets, Mother Hoover, right? A new sister, older sister. Okay. But so when we got here, after the second stage, after the crash, man began to different bacteria and things were brought here, including, like I say, that the Meldekians who crashed down, they had different bacteria on their ship, and plus their genetics. All these things began to toll up, and when we got here, we was at the Homo erectus stage. The human species was at the Homo erectus stage, right? Okay, and you had, like I say, you had different types depending on the area, national geographical area that they were located in. So we're gonna show you these different types, right? Here go one right here. They were more in the island, in the Iceland area, these types, right? Look at them. The Java man, he what you call the Java man, right? Remember the Java man that Bible talked about? Okay, different types, right? Look at this dude. In the Homo erectus, some of them were a little bit more, some of them were in the Homo erectus stage, and some of them were starting to come into the humanoid stage. But you're talking about millions of years of evolution, right? He goes some albinos, remember, because they had albino Homo erectus. So the genetics is already there in the traits. The genetics of albinos is already in the Homo erectus before the Anunnakis even stepped in. Because they really didn't, these beings really had a little bit of melanin due to they came directly straight out of the evolution from the water and part of the planet. But this is what they begin to look like. These are actually, says there was different types of species. These are more in the certain different areas, depending on what area they was in. Here you go, right here. All right, you see him? Okay, here go another one. So the albinos, different. Look at this. Okay, these types of this more of an updated species. Okay, the Neanderthal type too, because they was in a cold climate. We'll get into them too. But this more of an upgraded species. Okay, we already talked about that earlier too. All right, so we already went over that part. We just wanted to give you show you a quick synopsis of the beings that were here. Now let's get to this part. Okay. Okay. Man, something's making me sneeze like a mug in here. Talk about the mandrakes already. Hold up. We're gonna get to the part where I'm gonna show you. Okay. Creation of the human being is what we're talking about tonight. Okay. Get to it. Just a second, y'all. I gotta find the slide that we left off on. Boys got technology, they talking that God stuff, they watching from the satellites, they trying to evolve us, really on the low end, trying to dissolve us. And they ain't slow, we ain't riding the small bus. That's facts. Hey, look at Nanar. Hey, Nanar, Nino. Same. Hey, this right here, they look. They know what they was doing. They know who. Nanar. What Nanar wrote a hoop too. He wrote a hoop in the right side. In the right side. Then he had a nose ring too. He had a nose ring because they wore the nose ring and the earring. The rulers. On Enlil side, they wore it on I think the right, and on Inky side, they wore it on the left. Right. Hold up. Trying to find a picture where we left off here. Yeah, we talk about our Nana. We're gonna go more in depth on our Nana because we got her perspective too. Boom, boom. So Ningazita. You know that Inky had a son named Ningazita. Okay, let me talk about that because somebody was asking about that. Now, keep in mind, Tahuti is a title. And it was like 3 or 4 different people calling themselves Tahuti, right? But the real Tahuti is Inky, one of Inky's sons whose name is Ningazita. Murdoch is another son. Murdoch is the oldest son of Tahuti, of Inky. Murdoch is the oldest son of Inky. Keep in mind, Inky had the title Tahuti. Murdoch had the title Tahuti. Ningazita is the one that with the bird with the ibis face. That's him in the ancient Kemet. The one that's in ancient Kemet is Ningazita. His name translated, and he's the real Tahuti. Now Tahuti was a title, like I say, and it passed down from Inky. So Inky was called Tahuti. Then they started calling Marduk, and then Ningazita. But Ningazita is the one that did the Emerald Tablets. Ningazita is the Tahuti that wrote the Emerald Tablets. He's Murdoch's brother. Inky had 7 main sons, right? He had Murdoch, right? Then his next born son was he had Murdoch, he had Nergal, Ningazita, Damuzi was the younger son. Then he had some humans, he had a whole bunch of human children, but the ones that stood out was Adafa and Utnapishtim, Noah. Them 2 sons. Those 2 sons. So the Tahuti title passed down because even one of in order to cause confusion, one of Enlil's sons called himself Tahuti. Then he became then they started calling it Thor, Hermes, and different other names, right? But the real Ningazita or the real Tahuti, the one that's the ibis bird on the wall in ancient Kemet, is Ningazita, one of Inky's sons. See what we put the reason why, because I was going to do the ancient Egyptian bloodline all the way down, but then they came to me and told me I got to start back all the way with the Anunnakis because the ancient Egyptian the Tamaran the Goul whatever name you like, you know what I'm saying, the Netarus, Natharus, whatever you like, you know what I'm saying. These beings are this bloodline come down from Inky. The bloodline of the people that was over Africa, that got put over Africa by the Anunnakis, were Inky people. Murdoch, who became known as Amun Ra, and Atun, who changed his name to Atun because our Nana was trying to kill him, really. Our Nana hate him. Our Nana hate Murdoch. But then at the end, I think now she just come to grips that Murdoch is a product of our own doing. You know what I'm saying? How he is, right? But keep in mind, Murdoch, I'm just gonna tell you this. Murdoch got locked in the pyramid because after Saul got murdered, because Ishtar was blaming Murdoch for it. And right now, Murdoch is locked in the pyramid underground, just like he was back then. What you think, Florence, Colorado? Go pull up a picture from the sky cam and look down and see what you see. You see 3 pyramids. You got a pyramid there. It's the same shit. I'm telling you, man. It's the same stuff from back then. But we'll get into that later when we get into more on our Nana. But Tahuti is Ningizida. We got several scholars to bag what I'm saying up. I ain't just making this up. Because we got to clear everything up and line everything back up. So the dude with the ibis bird in ancient Kemet is Ningizida. Now I can show you. Oh, let me pull up this internet real quick. See if it's working good. Now let's look at this. Keep in mind, somebody said, why you using Zachariah snitching, right? And like I say, we not just using Zachariah snitching stuff, we using everybody's stuff. Anybody that says something about the Anunnaki, because we went and got the information and we did comparative studies, what I call comparative studies. That means it's like a percentage. Like if 10 out of 10 dudes are saying the exact same thing, then that most likely could be the truth. If 6 out of 10 guys saying the same thing, well, that most likely could be the truth because it's a higher percentage. Now we got to look at what the other 4 guys are saying that's different. Now, if they saying something that's similar, then we put the percentage together. So that's how we do our comparative studies. And then we did comparative studies to bring all this what we're telling you to you right now. So we take it what Baba said, Zachariah snitching, and keep in mind, like I say, I changed my mind. Like at first I was saying Zachariah snitching might have been a bad guy before I studied his work. Now that I study his work, I see why they call him Zachariah snitching. Why the Anunnakis call him Zachariah snitching? Because he snitched on everything that they was doing in detail. And he said, and keep in mind, he said that the Anunnakis is black in his book. Black-haired people. That's what they call these Anunnakis, black-haired people. So he said that in his own book, that they were black, dark people with woolly hair in his own book. So, you probably saying things about Zachariah stitching, but you know, probably never read his work. Read his work, then come back and talk to me. I got all of his work right here, right? But let me show you this. Ningazita. Ningazita. Oh, spell okay. Ningazita. Zeta. Yeah, Ningazita. I'm gonna show you something now. It's a cross reference. It's a statue that look just like the statue of Imhotep. See, the Enlil is the one that did this to us, man. Enlil did this to us. Look at this statue right here of Ningazita. Right? Enlil did this to us, man. He confused us with the names of the language. When he confused the language, now you got one God with 20 different names. So you thinking that this person is that person is this person. And we got mixed up. But let me pull that. See this picture right here? This is Ningazita. This is Tahuti. Right? See the scroll on his legs? Look how he's sitting. Ain't that how Imhotep was sitting? These statues go back farther than the time frame than these people are ancient Kemet. This is the same people. Tahuti, Ningazita is the same dude. Right? So hey, just go check it out, man. Before you disagree with me. Go check it out. I could get Rod on here to verify you. Like I say, me and Rod and them already went over this whole thing. Like I say, to fine tune it, make sure it was all we screened it. We got to make sure you got this shit because if we got a certain percentage of y'all gotta know the truth, gotta know what's going on in order for us to clear our karma debt. So we as teachers, our students got to make a certain percentage on the test in order for us to get our points, in order for us to get up out of here, get back to our thing, you know? Okay. We're going into the creation of the human. Hold up. Okay, yeah, Tahuti Ningazita, right? That's his real name, Ningazita. Go check it out. Okay, this right here, part I think that's Hanuel. Hanuel is a new son by one of his concubines and the right-hand man to Enlil. And he is like his advisor and his like secretary or something like that to answer all his phone calls and that matter. All right, let me get to the point of the creation of the humans. All right, here we go now. This is what I want to get right here. Let's get right here. Now we can get started. Let's give you that all them key pointers. Yeah, you got different names, Haru. You got different names. Really need me some water. I get my wife to give me some. Hey, so when Inky got here first after Alelu wasn't concerned with these beings, even though they was Alelu people was eating some of these people. They were eating these guys, adopting them and roasting them and eating them. It's like some barbecue, right? Enlil in his gang, the Nomos, those who claim to know the most, right? So it was a group of extraterrestrial on Nubaru called the diners. And what you think a diner do? They eat, right? And Nudnum ate meat too, but they didn't eat humans. They ate animals. They ate lamb. Read your Bible. It tell you they sat down. They ate lamb, bull. They eat the same stuff we eat. Nudnum eat the same stuff we eat, right? But they ain't into cannibal. That Anu's particular group ain't into cannibalism. Besides, it's a few the reptilian part, like Ariska Gale. She might, if you come down there at the wrong time when she was down there, she might barbecue you and actually eat you. Ariska Gale, because she is part from the reptilian clan that was eating people. Cannibalism. They practice cannibalism. Ariska Gale's people, right? All right, so when Inky got here, Inky noticed these beings. This right here before Enlil came. So Inky captured a couple of them and put them in cages, right? He captured a couple of them and put them in cages and started studying them. And he was already plotting to try to create some kind of worker being, a helper being, even before they even brought it up. He was already plotting on it down in the Abzu when he had these beings locked in the cage. And so he started genetically like crossbreeding them to try to get a better breed out of them. So he started finding the best ones he could find, the most intelligent ones, and started crossbreeding them to make like an intelligent buck breed that he was going to use. This is how you get your Sasquatch from Inky genetically engineering and experiment with these beings. It's how you get your Inky dude from Inky's experiment with these beings, right? So he was already making his own species, like a helper being, to haul stuff. They show you these beings in the Star Trek, the big ape-looking dude, hairy ape-looking dude. They even after Inky started creating these people, they ended up starting to adopt some of them and send them to Cyrus to do on some of the planets they were mining. Because they just, you got to keep in mind, they just wasn't mining on Earth. They were mining on thousands of other planets. So they needed people, more hands on deck, because they didn't want to work with themselves, especially even the lower class. So some of these Inky dudes or these Sasquatch, Bigfoots, they be seen all like in the mountains and stuff. They see them. People take pictures of them, but people think they don't exist. But they've been here longer than the humans. The Sasquatch, they come from Inky's experiment in the Abzu, right? And some of them was even brought over here to do work in the mines and haul big rocks, to move big boulders out of the way after because what they were doing, they were using a certain type of explosive to blow a tunnel, right? And then they get these big ape dudes, these Inky dudes, because they do what Inky say do, right? Right. And Rod gives another line on how they got their name, because he said they couldn't talk, and the only thing they can say is Inky do. Inky say do. Inky say do. So they start calling them Inky do, because they do whatever Inky say do, right? So that's what Rod said, right? And yeah, so they were going with them people, and then, like I say, the digging was okay. Here's what like an example Inky had them in cages, like experimenting on them in joints, crossbreeding them in joints, right? Right. Here's an Inky dude right here. Right. Look at his ears. Right. Look at the lion they got too. Keep in mind. These people right here crossbred with lion. Because Inky was already crossbreeding not only like the ape type man, he was using other DNAs that they had already had on file from other species that they was already creating in other star systems. So keep that in mind too. Yeah, Planet of the Apes. This was Planet of the Apes before the humans was here. Right? The humans were the Anunnakis, like, or the humanoid looking type were the Anunnakis who came to the Planet of the Apes. Right? They came to the Planet of the Apes and sped their genetics up. All right, hold on. That's these right here would this how some of the Gigis look. The 300 the Gigis. Hold on, let me get to this part. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on just a second, y'all. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here go a picture of the ape man. Ape man right here. Here go a picture of the ape man. This right here is like the Inky dude. Like the first type species they call the Bigfoot or the Shaggy. Right? The Inky dude that Gilgamesh was with looked at more humanoid because it was an upgrade. He was an upgrade species of this species. He had less hair than this species. This like the Warning type species, right? See, like the Yorkie dog looking dude, right? Inky was experimenting making different species. Like the baboon is really a cross because Inky was making it's really a cross between the monkey, the jackal, and the hyena. Right? A baboon is like a crossbreed from the monkey. So they were doing these Anunnakis were doing different crossbreeds. Also, here with them on Nubaru, they brought these workers, these tall guys these guys from Titan. They could get up to 36 feet tall. These giants from Titan. And they was here just like they was here with the Anunnakis doing work. Like, and some of them was used as soldiers. Because Murdoch started cloning these beings and mixing his DNA with them to make this big ass soldier race, the clone soldier race to fight for them. So, but these beings were here from Titan. They were some of them get up to 36 feet tall. You can see, like between 8, like the Anunnakis about around this height. Some of them can get up to 12 feet tall, but but the Anunnaki, they don't. Most of them average between 9, 7 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet. But they had these tall Titan beings and the reason why they used when they came here, they actually was like these beings. They were like around 15, maybe between 8 and 15 feet. But when they babies started being born on Earth, they were getting taller because the planet that they came from, the gravity it was more stronger than this planet. So the babies would grow taller because the gravity was less dense than the planet that they originated from. So they was having different effects, like different species were having different effects from being on Earth, right? Like even the Anunnakis. All right, so here goes some of the they say that giants were in the earth in those days. Remember that in the Bible, for my Bible guys, right? For my Bible guys, right? So this right here, look how big these skeletons they finding. People that's 20 feet tall, 15 feet tall, the Nephilims, right? The giants. And all of them didn't get destroyed in the flood because where did Goliath come from? Where did Goliath? Goliath was a giant in the earth in those days. And he came from a group of beings called the Philistines. And keep in mind, the Philistines or Philistines they coming from ancient Kemet. They Cushites. They Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, Afar people, Palestinians, the real Palestinians with the afros. So look how big this head is, the skull. Right? These are the big dudes that came with the Anunnakis. And some of they bloodline is still here because it's you look around and just type in the tallest people in the world and you start seeing some of these people that exist that you rarely see. Most of them they grab up and put them in the NBA. Now, let's get to the part where we start getting some DNA, because keep in mind only 2 strands of your DNA is activated while the Anunnakis using 12 strands. Because Enlil wanted to cut you off. Right? But we here to activate those strands. Yeah, we live, we lit. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We about to go in. So, to make a long story short, to build up to this point, because we already talked about this point. The low class, the Anunnakis who were actually digging in the mines, they were getting upset and disgruntled workers. Enlil was getting them high and getting them low. We got to say it like that. Enlil was getting them high and he was getting them low. Right? After a while, they became immune to that. Right? Because they built a tolerance up for it. So now they complain. The complaints led up to Enlil's door. Enlil called down Anu. He called up all the other Anunnakis. They had a meeting to decide what they're going to do about these disgruntled workers. We tried everything. We got them high. We got them low. We got them drunk. We gave them beer. We gave them girls. We gave them girls to keep them entertained through Inanna. But all that wore off now. We got to come up with something. So Anu told them, Enlil, you in charge, you fix it. I don't care what you do, make it right. He leaves. He go back to starting it up. He goes back to Nubaru. Enlil, he messed up. He got to make himself look good, so he don't want to look bad. So he puzzled in his head like what he gonna do. All of a sudden, Inky said, "Aha!" Like a light bulb popped on his head. But he was already working on a genetical experiment with the Inky dudes. Well, not the with the Inky dudes and with the Homo erectus, right? So he said, yeah, we can create a primitive worker, somebody who will work the mines for us, right? Somebody who will till the ground, who will dig the gold, and y'all can lay back and chill and be the foremen and the overseers. Enlil said, I don't know, man, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know. Inky said, yeah, man, it'd be easy. It's already a being that exists here already that we can use his genetics. We could make a couple crossbreeds and slices. And then we can even wrap our DNA within theirs and then even encode the melanin code from the Nacals in our melanin code. And we can create a Lulu-Amalu, which means a primitive worker. Now get this. Now I'm gonna say this before I go forward. A lot of people in this world are not gonna make it to the point where we at right now. They gotta still be reading the Bible, and that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it. They gotta still be reading the Quran, some other religious doctrine, right? And then you can say this is a religious doctrine as well. This right here, but this is the origin of all your religious doctrine. All these gods set up their own religion, and you follow their religion, and you worship these gods. You just forgot. Or you supposed to worship these gods because you are Lulu-Amalu. Now, some of y'all here are children of the Anunnaki. And hell, some of y'all are Anunnaki, full-blooded Anunnakis. Because all the Anunnakis wasn't tall and height, keep that in mind. But some of y'all are the children of the Anunnaki. And as we teach what we teach in, Billy Carson, Rod Hayes, all the masters that were saying here that left to unlock the codes in your DNA, right? We say here Not for the Lulu Amalus. Lulu Amalus not gonna be able to get to this point. Their DNA, they about to go extinct. Lulu Amalus about to go extinct. That's why so many people be going extinct, deceased right now. They going deceased because they primitive workers. They're primitive workers, and their genetics can't go with the fifth dimension. They're gonna be they get sent back to as we in the fourth dimension. Really, we in the fifth, going into the foothill of the fifth dimension. Those people getting shipped over to the other, back to the third dimension. Why a lot of us who are children of the Anunnakis are evolving, right, to another level, which is why this information or affirmation or mid-formation, or better yet, transformation is being broadcasted right now. Right? So if you're a Lulu Emalu, you ain't gonna get this. You ain't gonna even want to listen to this because it's not for you. So we're not talking to primitive workers, right? We're talking to the true seed of coming all the way down from the Anunnaki, right? So what happens is they had a laboratory already set up on Nubaru where they do the cloning, right? A facility already on Nubaru where they clone and make avatars depending on what planet they're working on. Inky's got probably like 9 different suits. They call them suits. Suits is an avatar, right? It depends on what planet they go to, depending on what suit they put on, right? Okay. Then they got their real suit, which is which they can slow that vibration down and become physical too, right? But they don't like to do that. They like to use an avatar to exist on a certain plane so they can operate on a certain plane, right? When they're coming down from the fifth dimension, when they come to the third dimension, they have to use avatars, right? On Nuru, they don't got to use the avatars, right? All right, so they also set up a base or a laboratory, which they had it was already set up really by Anzu and the 300 Agigis who were stationed on Mars at the way station. While they was there, they set up a station where they was crossbreeding, where they were taking the heads off of like different animals and switching the heads out. Like they'll take a head off a lion and put it on a bear. Take the head off a bear and put it on a lion. Take the head off of Anunnaki and put it on a dog. They showed you this in Mars Attack because these beings were stationed on Mars. You know, Marvin the Martian, right? The dark-skinned Etruscans with the Centaurians hats. We already showed that on Anunnaki Part 6, right? We just not getting started, baby. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Right, here we go. So Mother Ninti, the chief scientist to Anu and spouse, wife to Inky, eventually during this project, they end up getting intertwined during this project when they was working together. They sort of had like some kind of love thing. But Inky just wanted to get him a piece, though, really, when he was drawing out. Hey, man. Hey, but Inky, like I tell you, he got away with women. You know, he got away with women. He smooth just like his dad. Like he's smooth. You get overwhelmed, you'll get overwhelmed with his romantic and kindness. It'll overwhelm him. It'll be too much. So you gotta take a 2 or 3 days away because it's the love. I'm telling you, man. People who are around them know what I'm talking about. And people don't gotta believe me when I tell you who's who. They gonna come tell you later. You gotta believe me. I don't care. I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be off the scene, baby. I'm gonna be off the scene. By the time everything settled in, I'm gonna be somewhere on the yacht, chilling with my own island somewhere, man, like Jay Prince. You see what I'm saying? When I grow up, I'm trying to be like Jay. You know what I'm saying? With my own island in Belize somewhere. You feel me? Right? So check this. They go to Mars. They start abducting different species from Earth. and take them into a laboratory and start to clone it. Right? Now, it took them 700 years, or 600 years, to 700 years when they had the completion. It took them 600 years of this cloning and mixing in different species, different trials and errors. They were different of the ones, the clones they were making had different defects, right? It's a list of defects. All the defects that you got now in the world, right? The defects that people have in the world today are coming back all the way from the original experiment with Mother Ninti. It started out with Mother Ninti and Inky. Mother Ninti and Inky at first, and then when they tried to figure, they wanted to get some more in depth on the genetics, being that nigga Zeta Tahuti was a genetical master. They brought him into the science and started let him dissect each individual strand to figure out what the problem was, because they kept on missing some parts. So eventually, once nigga Zeta came in, boom, they started getting a better process. Now keep in mind, over the 600 years of them creating these different species, doing the experiment, they had different kinds of beings that came from this experiment. And a lot of them got left over on Mars. A lot of these beings from this Homo erectus to the Homo sapien project got left on Mars. So a lot of the species on Mars are 8-man or Homo in the stage, in between the stage of Homo erectus and Homo sapien. A lot of the species. Now that don't mean that they ain't intelligent, because they did get more intelligent, although they still got, like, go watch the Mars tapes. He kind of break down a little bit about the people. Elijah Muhammad was trying to tell people about the people like in the 50s and 40s. He was telling them about the people, not these 8-mans or these people that walk upright, that he goes into it. Elijah Muhammad, right? But hey, Yaku come in later. Yaku is recent, man. I'm talking about millions of years ago. When I'm talking about this, Yaku is recent. Now, some might say, "Oh, this is only a certain amount of thousands of years ago," but I beg to differ. Time frames with the crash and the planet rehealing. A lot of people are saying 500 million. You know, it's longer than that. It's billions. They don't want to tell us it's billions, how long Earth been around. When she was Tiamat, she been around. Right? So, as we proceed, let me see what this next photo is. Okay, yeah, so, hold on, let's go back. All right, so they start abducting the Homo erectus. Like I say, some of these Homo erectus live on Mars right now because they've got abducted and taken to Mars, and they was part of the project. And then you might see a couple upgraded different species over time. And then you're gonna see that it's like some of the dark skin, the Truskians, they was mixing with all kind of species, and those different species live on Mars. The 300 Gigi, they was a different types of species they were mixing, and they live on Mars, like the Greys, other kinds of species. They live underground on Mars, right? So the face on Mars, like I say, if you go back to when that Alelu got buried on Mars, Zachariah Stitcher says that the face was there then, and then it was in representation of Alelu's burial site. Then Baba said they used that spot later as a sign to let the incoming Martians or incoming extraterrestrials know that, hey, we started the Adam Project. We are evoluting the species of man, which is really breaking galactic law. So I don't understand why they would let them put a marker there to tell niggas they breaking galactic law. That's something about fishy about that, right? Why would they say, hey man, why would they break galactic law and say, hey, you know, this is what we doing today? They pretty much telling on themselves, if that's the case, right? I'm not saying Baba was wrong. I'm just saying like that, you know. I don't know about that part. The barrier of the site is, like I say, we take it, but we take it in our Murdoch's perspective, all these different people's perspective. Okay. So they was on Mars, boom, they set up a base, start engineering. We got that part. Then as the experiment went on, they brought Nergal and Ariska gear, which is Inanna's sister. And they also bought Damkina, which is Alelu's daughter, Murdoch's mother, Inky's wife, Inky's first wife, into the project. And they also brought in 7 other nurses, because keep in mind, Mother Ninti was a doctor. She would be like your doctor. And she had 7 nurses as her assistants. She actually had more than that, because her 2 daughters became her assistants. That made the 9. And then she also had a couple more people that was training later. And she also started training the humans. Mother Hubert, not Mother Hubert, Mother Ninti, who is Ninhursag, because somebody said, show me a picture of Ninhursag. Ninhursag is Mother Ninti. Okay? That was her name before she became Ninti. Her name was Ninhursag. Okay? So just want to make that clear. Okay? What was we? All right, so all these people were involved. These people plus about 7 or 8 more people as far as like the handmaids. So eventually, when they got to the last processing point, they figured it out. They said that Mother Ninti said that I gotta take the egg, the seed of these bees after we got the final product, and I gotta actually put it into my egg and actually birth the kid. Actually birth the kid, right? Myself. So Mother Ninti actually put this new genetical experiment of the Homo sapien into her womb and raised the kid in her womb for 9 months. And then she birthed the kid, right? Okay. So this what they did. This what the Anunnaki stepped in. Now keep in mind what they did was breaking galactic law. Because there's a rule on the books called non-interference, no interference. And keep in mind, Anu can even get, Anu even has to answer to a higher council. Because Anu is not the only Most High. He the Most High of our family. He the chief royal heir of our family. Not, it's millions and billions of other species that got their own chief or leader. Even the reptilians here, they got their own leader. Why you think Anu had to come here and make a deal with other beings that were already here before they got to go? He had to make a deal with Inky them people. So he just couldn't come here and take nothing and do. So we can't be under the mindset that these Anunnakis is all powerful, like I said, and they 7 foot and all this. How tall is 7 foot on 24,000 square miles? 196,000 square miles, 96 million square miles, 24,000 miles in circumference, right? How tall is 7 foot? That ain't that tall. And 7 foot is not that tall in 150,000 light years. 7 foot is not that tall in 96 billion light years, which is your one universe. It's not that tall. It's really like smaller than a dot, less than a dot. So we got to keep in mind the Anunnaki is a higher council that the Anunnakis got to answer to. And that's why we here right now telling you what we telling you, because we got karma debt. We here to pay that karma debt by teaching you what we know so we can move on and remove the wall that's blocking us. Right? And people saying that Tammuz is supposed to not like Murdoch because Anana don't like him. Nah. I'm here to make amends with both sides of the family because I'm an Enlilite and an Inkyite. I'm on both sides of the planet, both sides of the family. But the truth must be told up and above all so that y'all can know. Right? Okay? So the finishing product is the second humanoid type species on the planet, which becomes the Sandsman. The Sandsman is your final product of the Homo sapiens. In South Africa, the Kalahari Desert. They're some of the oldest people on the planet. Been around more than millions of years. And they still live in the bush. They the Bushman. And then you got the Twa Man. Let me see if I got the Twa Man up in here. The Twyman evolved from the water, from a species, from a couple of species crossbreed. Okay, all right. So this, now keep in mind, people get these confused. This is Mother Ninti, Hathor. Mother Ninti is Hathor, right? Ishtar is Ishtar. So she's the neat. This is Ishtar's auntie, Inanna auntie, Hathor. Now the reason why they got her breastfeed is because she breastfed the first human. This is what this is a representation of. She brought the first Homo sapien. She breastfed the first Homo sapien and birthed them out of her own womb, right? So that's what this is about. But look at how you can tell the difference from Isis or Ishtar or Set or Inanna, right? From Hathor, from Ninhursag, from Mother Ninti is the headpiece. Like Baba told them people that was going around saying they was daughters of Isis. They got the wrong headpiece on. You got the wrong headpiece. The headpiece that Ishtar got the queen seat, the mother queen seat, the one they show you up in the Vatican. Remember the seat that Rod told you about? That the Pope Pt.9 sit is behind up in there. The Pope Pt.9 sit is behind up in that chair. That's why they got it high off the ground to make sure nobody sit in that joint. They got their joint high off the ground to make sure nobody, the janitor or somebody don't actually sit down in that joint because he tired, right? So I can't see the chat because the chat gone. The chat, my phone went dead. Let me put my phone on charger while I'm right here, man. Let me throw this phone on the charger. I'm gonna keep going though because I know y'all hear me, right? So Ninhursag, Hathor, Mother Ninti, right? Breastfed and birth, she put the seat like she artificial assimilated herself or became a surrogate mother for the first not the first civilized guy, because the first civilized guy is a Dafa, which is Enki's son. But she actually breastfed and nurtured and birthed the first actual human being. So this is Brother Ninti's representation of the cow. And the reason why they use the cow or the Taurus is because they did this in the Taurus age. They created humans in the Taurus age, the age of Taurus, right? The age of Enlil. Enlil became the ruler of the Taurus. Then Murdoch took over in the Ram time, right? In the age of the Ram. We'll get into that, the Aries age. We'll get into that later. But keep in mind, there's a difference between Mother Ninti and Ishtar, right? Because Ishtar was doing a similar same thing as Mother Ninti, when you get into the science of it. But Mother Ninti breastfeeding has been a representation of the first Homo sapiens, right? Hold on. Put my phone up. I know we've been going for an hour already, but let me see how many slides I got, because we're going to probably do 2 parts to the human creation. Okay. Okay, hold up. Okay. Also, keep in mind, Anu had his own little experiment going on 1,000. It took him 1,000 years to do this. He was working on one of this experiment where he was creating a whole new soul. He was creating a whole new soul from his soul, right? And he wanted to take this soul and break it into 12 different pieces. And then he wanted to mold a body to put this soul in that he had created in his seed on Nuru, right? Because Anu, he's an artist. He's like a painter. So sometimes when he want to get away, he'll go in his lab and he'll start creating new things. And he created a new soul. This soul later became Adam, right? One of the first Adams. So he needed a body for this being to go in. These 12 beings, the spirit that he was gonna break into 12 pieces. So they adopted the Sands Man, and then they started adopting this other being that they had on file, these dark-skinned Hindu beings, right? And then they put a little bit of their DNA with it too, and start making these avatars they became known as the Watusis, right? The Watusis, right? These avatars. So he put this spirit into these 12 different beings, and they created avatars for them using these different genetics in a tube. They created cars for these beings. And what their plan is to make these beings over the Lulu Amalus, so they can just leave, and these beings will just stay and run all the operation from Adam down. His family, they'll run the operation, while the Anunnakis just can leave on Nuru, and they can just have these people here, because the Anunnakis really didn't want to stay on the planet long, because it'll affect their time reference. Meaning one day for them is 30 years. I think I made a mistake on the last one, I said 30 days, but I meant to say 30 years. One day for them is 30 years. 1 month for them is 300 years. 300 years is 1 month. 1 day for them is 30 years. So you do the math. 1 day for them is 30 years. So but if they stay on Earth too long, they can get trapped in terrorist Earth frequency, and it'll lower their lifespan. So they had different mechanisms that they would use to keep this from happening. But the ultimate plan was to create a superior race, the Adamites, and put them over the Lulu Amalus, right? And they was the Watusis, right? And they really had greenish skin when they first came, coming out straight out of the tube off of Nubu, right? Okay, I showed that the Hindus. Okay, I think that closes out this class. We're gonna come back on part 2 on we'll come back on part 10, I think. And we'll go a little bit more in depth on creating the humans. But if you want to go in more depth on the human creation, what ties into this point is go back and watch my Native African Heritage part 1 through 7, and then you'll see I start to break down like the Sandsman, the Watusi, and the Twa, and the Hindus were the first 4 original species. And then from mixing those different species, like mixing the Sands and the Twa, you got the Bantu people. So I break all that down on the Native African Heritage tapes, part 1, part 2, 7. Go to the playlist. I'm gonna go in here and eat me some salad with garlic and everything on it, because I'm getting that chemtrail shit, man. I couldn't even see the sun for like 3 or 4 days. I haven't seen the sun, bro, for 3 or 4 days. Haven't seen the sun for 3 or 4 days. It's like, so I don't know what the heck is going on, man. It's like they trying to, But yeah, we're gonna go into more depth on the part 10, because it's like a this is really like, it could be up to 12. I'm gonna try to make it a 12-part series, hopefully, but it might end up going past 12. But I wanted to make it a 12, so it'd be like the 12th planet, like, you know what I'm saying? But then I start doing other little individual note tapes on it. Like I'm gonna do another one on Anna, because her story is real broad and in depth into what was going on. So I'm gonna go in on Nana, and we'll go back because we already got a lot on Enlil. We'll go back a little bit more on Inky, and we got to finish the storyline. The storyline continues with the nuclear war between Murdoch and Nertu and Nergal. We're gonna get into that, and that's why we're here right now, to clean that part up. You know what I'm saying? The genetical effort, as Rod call it. So we out, man. Yeah, peace, love, divine harmony, right? Islam, right? Hotep. So, assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, right? Ashur, divine love throughout the boundless universe to all.